When he traded Fontenot, he got Hasse, Bordy, and Henry Cotto, the outfielder. Off speed, hammered to right, base hit. The run is in. On his way to third is Mattingly. And there you go again. The Angels burned in the first inning.
Well, if you're going to get burned, that's the way you're going to get burned, with high curveballs. That ball was up in Hasse's eyes, but there's no hitter who breathes who doesn't like that high curveball, and he just tomahawked it and drove in the first run. Watch it. That's no place for a curveball.
So Ron Romanek roughed up here in the first inning. He has given up a walk, a single, and a double. Mark, restless, has to get some outs. There's no one throwing in the bullpen. He's too thin. It's much too early. And here is Don Baylor, hitting .234. Baylor has been hit by a pitch 22 times this year, 190 times in his career for an American League record. However, it paled. And Baylor keeps playing. He's going to keep getting hit. Ball 2. 2-1 to count. It's 1-0 Yankees. If you joined us a little late, a 1-out. And a tag by Carew, and Baylor tripping, and let's see if Carew is okay. Carew, I think, hurt himself as he stuck a hand in Baylor, and then Baylor tripped and went down. Baylor is okay. Carew looks questionable. So 1 out.
Number 16. Jack Howell.
Now here comes Jack Howell, and we were telling you about he's the kid, and the game we were trying to think of that he was watching was 3-Card Monte, and while he was watching it, he had his pockets picked for $200.
Rod Carew is needling him, and Howell said, well, you learn and live. He said, no, you live and learn. He said, not here. You learn and then live.
Strike. 0-1. They've turned the lights on here at Yankee Stadium. It is overcast. 1-0 Yankees, second inning. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Yankees have the best home record in the major leagues. They've won 41, and they've only lost 16 games at home.
Howell has been a hot hitter for him, and as far as DeCinces, he took some batting practice today. He still is kind of bouncing around, but rather gingerly. He has a back problem.
1-2 the count. Howell homered last night. He hit one against Marty Weissman. Howell is playing because Doug DeCinces is out with a bad back. He hasn't played in over a dozen games. That's fouled, and that got the plate umpire. Marty's
left shoulder. That really got him. The left shoulder. And that inside protector, forget it. He had the balloon on him. It would have really helped him, but he took a nasty crack. It comes straight back. Right over the catcher's head, left shoulder. Ooh,
Marty trying to hang tough.
That'll be a nice seam mark on your shoulder.
2-2. Well, one good thing, if an umpire has to get hit on his shoulder, and they're still working on Carew's hand. Wow.
Wrapped it.
I was going to say, if an umpire has to get hit on his shoulder, better than the right, which you have to use to call strikes.
And he's also open on that right side.
Yeah. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fouled away.
That's the old National League way of doing it, inside the hitter, over the right shoulder, left-hand hitter, left shoulder the catcher with the right-hand batter. The American League, it's used to be directly behind the catcher and kind of using him as a screen.
Yeah, but I think that's one reason why the National League always said that you had the low ball strike, and the American League missed it because you were behind the catcher. 2 down.
Number 4, Bobby Grigg, second base. Number 4.
Just swung under it. I don't know about that inside and behind the plate and all that. I think umpiring is like hitting. If you can umpire, you can umpire. If you can't, you can find 50 reasons why you can't.
Well, the only thing thing I have, for instance, if you're the plate umpire and you are 5'10", 5'11", and you are working directly behind a catcher like Carlton Fisk, you're at a disadvantage, right?
I would think so. Inside would probably help you, but some of the umpires today, not mentioning names, they're a little bit out of shape too. They can't get around, whether inside or over the top. They're not going to see anything. Can't hardly see their shoes.
1 ball, 1 strike. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Whitson, right now, is very much on his game. He's retired 5 in a row, but his pitches are moving. Gritch hitting .241. We'll be keeping an eye on that one, of course. Chicago, Toronto. They are in the bottom of the 2nd inning. No score. Toronto leading the Yankees by 5.
Now, the last 2 pitches were pitches he was trying to set up, but the last one was a bad one to use it as a setup, and the 2-2 pitch, the ball 2 pitch was a good one because it was a good slider just off the plate.
3-2 to Bobby Gritch. Fastball, and he was a little late after looking at the breaking balls, and the count 3-2.
He's hardly thrown that palm ball, man. He's just relying on power, fastball and slider.
Yeah, he's really pitching basically the way I remembered him when he pitched in San Diego. 3-2. Just missed. And Whitson thought he had him struck out. So with 2 out, Bobby Gritch at first, and Bob Boone coming up. Pretty good numbers.
Number 8.
Boone has a groin pull, but they need him desperately, and he's done a good job. Ground ball to the right side. Willie Randolph over to Don Mattingly, so the Angels lead Gritch. And at the end of an inning and a half, the Yankees 1, the Angels nothing. Randolph, Pagliarulo, and Meacham will be coming up. As the result of the first inning play on the tag on the big thigh of Don Baylor, Rod Carew has had to have that hand taped. I guess it's okay to play defensively with that much tape, but it'll be interesting to see what it does to his swing, even to a great hitter like Carew.
You certainly have to favor it. From the looks of it, you just wonder if he's going to be able to finish this game, because you could see the swelling almost immediately.
So Carew is taped and playing, and Willie Randolph, Mike Pagliarulo, and Bobby Meacham coming out. Randolph,
Number 30.
in the words of Billy Martin, playing his heart out, but he's tired.
Number 30.
And as you know, in baseball, tomorrow the clubs can bring up minor leaguers, and he will get a rest, but not now. He's played 122. Rex Hudler is going to be brought up by the Yankees to give him a day's rest, and there's a dunker for a base hit. So Romanek is singularly unimpressive, but again, we stress the fact he hasn't pitched in 8 days, and in that game he only worked 2 innings, so he really has to be rusty. And now here's Pags, as they call him, Mike Pagliarulo.
Then you have to be alive with Randolph on at first base. And remember, Randolph jumped on the first pitch too, much like they did in the first inning.
Right. Randolph has stolen 14 bases, so they have some speed down there. One ball and 1 strike to count. We're in the bottom of the 2nd inning. The Yankees leading the Angels 1-0. In looking over at Willie Randolph, we were talking about his stolen bases, and he really taking a look. It reminds me, did you hear the name they're now giving Vince Coleman, the base-stealing whiz of St. Louis? Vincent Van Gogh, G.O. That's great. Vincent Van Gogh. Off speed. Good pitch on the corner. 1-2. So Ron Romanek working on Mike Pagliarulo, who evidently has been beating himself to death with foul balls. He's wearing a shin guard to protect his right leg. Check swing foul, and it remains 1-2. In the third, no score. Chicago, Toronto. Did you do that much when you hit? You know, beat your front leg?
No, I really didn't. I really didn't. Vic Wertz was really bad at that.
1-2 the count. 2-2.
Well, you always said if you're going to run them 3-2, they run 2-2. So look at Randolph really taking a good look at Michael at third base. Boone is checking him. Everybody's got their eyes on Michael.
Randolph poised. We'll see what he does about it. He goes. And the off-speed pitch hit to the right side, and he only plays to first. So it's a double play ball, except they had Randolph going, and they avoid it. 43 if you're scoring, and with one out, Bobby Meacham coming up.
That's the perfect example of why baseball people consider the hit and run play a defensive play. Defensive to the extent that you stay away from the inning record, which is a double play. If you do happen to get a base hit, that's utopia. That's icing on the cake, and you got first and third. But to stay away from the double play, you've done the job.
Talking about doing the job, did you notice the numbers we just put up on Bobby Meacham? There were two particular areas. Off speed. Bobby Meacham does not have a home run, but he has 40 runs batted in. There isn't another big leaguer, I believe, without a home run who has anywhere close to 40 RBIs. And he might have another. Base hit to right. Hesitating was Randolph, and he has to stop because he hesitated. With two out, he would have scored, but he was afraid that that ball would have been caught. So Meacham loses an RBI.
It was a good base running play because you can see Randolph thinks the play is going to be made, make sure he gets through there, and then he picks up the coach right here, and you can see Michael really had the hands up stopping him, and they've got the inning alive yet. And of course, Henderson coming up. How many double plays is he going to hit into?
That's right. So first and third, and here's Ricky. I don't know. They're going to have to go hard here with the New York press when they've come up with Vincent Van Gogh for Vince Coleman. But the thing about Ricky Henderson, he is more than a base stealer. He's become a wonderful hitter. And there goes the runner, Meacham. They throw to third. No chance there. So Meacham steals second. And you have runners at second and third with one out.
Meacham had such a big jump that Boone didn't even hesitate. He fired to third base immediately, and Randolph goes diving back.
So with runners at second and third, Ricky Henderson up there trying to get him a couple in a hurry. And he hits a fly ball into right center. Moving over is Rupert Jones. The runner's tag. The run will score, and on his way to third is Meacham, and it is 2-0 Yankees. The key to the whole inning shows you how baseball is so interesting. 2-ball, 2-strike count on Pagliarulo, and Randolph was going. If Randolph is not going, Pagliarulo hits into a double play, and it's a whole different game. Amazing.
And that's the Billy Martin style of baseball. Break up that infield, keep them moving.
So Billy has had his club on the move. They are 68-42 since he took over as manager. They are leading 2-0, and here is Ken Griffey. Ball one. Griffey trying to pick up Bobby Meacham from third.
You talk about since taking over as manager. How about that Bobby Wine down in Atlanta? Is he off to a start?
5 straight. 1-0. And change his name to Champagne. 1-1. So Ron Romanek roughed up a little. 2 runs, 4 hits. Missed again.
I do wish one thing, though. Managers do get fired, and it does happen. I do wish ball players would just shut up when managers lose their job.
Good point.
Just zip it up. Don't need anything.
2-1 to count. Don't mind it when a ball player goes to the manager's defense and says something to the effect, hey, we're playing lousy, it wasn't his fault. But when a player can't resist taking a shot at a guy who's down and out, that's dirty pool. 3-1 to Ken Griffey, trying to pick up Meacham from third. And ball 4, and now you get Mattingly. Don Mattingly has so much talent. It was a strange way, I guess, to describe his talent. But Dave Winfield was quoted as saying, Mattingly reminds me of a vegetable truck that you see on a back road, loaded with vegetables. And even though some of the vegetables will fall off, there's so much it doesn't make any difference. And what he was talking about is so much talent that even if he slumps in one area, he has so much else going for him. But I've never heard of a ball player reminding somebody of a vegetable truck.
Remind him of a vegetable, yes.
Yeah.
Or a turkey. Not this guy.
First and third with 2 out. It's 2-0 Yankees, second inning. Line drive, base hit for the vegetable. And it is 3-0 Yankees. And Gene Mauch has to be twisting and turning a little bit in the Angel dugout. The thing he dreaded.
The right fielder, Dave
Mattingly, you know he's going to be a 300 hitter. Bob Boone simply calls him Wade Boggs with power. And he just rips one, another RBI, and he hits the ball hard most of the time.
Marcel Latchman going out to the mound to talk to Ron Romanic. No one throwing yet, but the telephone is ringing down in the Angel bullpen, so we were going to have somebody get up in a minute. They're just starting to move around. Donnie Moore had to work and get 11 outs last night, so Luis Sanchez will get up and begin to loosen up.
I spent a lot of time before the game talking about Mattingly to Bob Boone, and he simply says you just have to keep moving the ball around. He said if you get the ball outside, you know he's going to go to the opposite field, and if you're lucky, you can hold him to a single. And every once in a while, you try to run that ball in, but his hands are so quick. There's no set way to pitch him. He's just a solid hitter.
Well, you know, he's already gotten his name in the books with the big guys. He got his 100th RBI on the 20th of August. He did it against the Angels, first man in the American League to do it, and then Eddie Murray came in and tore the place apart. But the point being that Roger Maris had 100 RBIs in his big year. He did it on the 4th of August, so Mattingly is right close to him. And what really surprised me, you know, Mickey Mantle drove in 100 runs only 3 times in his brilliant career. Mattingly, I don't know what he's going to do. Check swing, called a strike. So we'll have to switch the scoreboard out there. So Mattingly holding at first. Winfield, the 7th man to come to the plate in the second inning. Taking his lead at second, Ken Griffey.
Winfield doesn't believe that they switched that to a strike. And now he took a good look at the first base umpire, who is Tom Leopard, and he still doesn't believe it.
I wouldn't give that spot to a Leopard.
Oh,
Ball 2.
oh, time, your ball. Oh, call
2-1.
timeout, fair catch. You wouldn't give that spot to him. Oh. Well, what did you think watching it? I wouldn't give that spot to the first base umpire.
2-1 to count to Dave Winfield. Check swing foul. 2-2 in the inning. Randolph singled. As we said, the 2-2 pitch, he was going. Pagliarulo hit a shot right at Bobby Grich. Otherwise, it's a double play, but Randolph was safe at second. Then Meacham singled. Henderson scoring fly ball got a run home. Griffey walked. Mattingly drives in a run. So it's 3-0 Yankees in the second inning. 2-2 the count to Dave Winfield, who flied to deep right center field in the first inning. He goes to Gritch just in time of that head first slide by Mattingly. So the Yankees pick up 2 at the end of 2. It's 3-0 New York, and we'll be back after these messages from your local station. We'll be going to the 3rd inning. The Yankees 3 and the Angels nothing.
What is Dale doing?
I don't know whether that has something to do with strength and a grip or what. Maybe it's a watch that's stuck and he's trying to shake it loose. He might be timing people going to first. Maybe it's just an old yo-yo and the string is stuck. I don't know what it is. Instead of watching a grown man do that. Meanwhile, we'll worry about Rod Carew. Yeah, he's going to bunt. He's telling his mates.
Gets it inside. I'm going to bunt to third base and beat it out. And he can, too.
Gary Pettis, Dick Schofield, and Brian Downing in that order in the 3rd inning. Yankees 3, Angels nothing. Pettis has had a lot of trouble as a left-handed batter. He's striking out much too much. In fact, he has struck out 80 times left-handed and 99 times for the year. Now, 99 times for the year is overwhelming when you realize he has 1 home run.
In the game plan, I think he was to be the leadoff man.
Well, there he goes again, left-handed. Boy, that's a killer. No power and strike out 100 times. To give you an idea, Reggie Jackson has struck out 104 times, only 4 more times. But Reggie at least has 20 home runs.
That 8th and 9th spot for Gene Mauch and the Angels has been a problem as far as offensively.
The strike now to Dick Schofield, who is as quiet a kid as there is, and the latest Schofield anecdote, and a true one. That's hit foul down the line. Dick Schofield hit a grand slam home run. Now, his dad played in the big league, so his mom and dad called to congratulate him on his grand slam home run. He returned the call 3 days later. He didn't know what to say. Ball 1.
He's friendly enough.
Oh, he's a great kid.
But a smile is a whole speech.
Yeah. Yeah, you get a nod from him, and that'll do for the day. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Ed Whitson has allowed 1 man to get aboard when he went 3-2 and walked Bobby Gritch. The Yankees leading 3-0. We're in the top of the 3rd inning. High pop-up on the left side. Pagliarulo, the 3rd baseman.
The left fielder.
2 down, and the batter will be Brian Downing, who has been so successful in the leadoff role. He grounded to 3rd in the 1st inning. By the way, in June 21st marks something else. That's the day that the Angels took over first place and have not relinquished it. So it timed right in with Brian Downing. Right.
Downing with that open stance, many times the pitcher figures, well, he opens up, then he's going to step into the ball and they'll jam him, but they've been staying outside with him.
0-1. All right, you look at that open stance. You say to yourself, he's compensating for a problem that he must have had early in his development, right?
Getting jammed.
Exactly. 1-1. If you see a spread eagle Joe DiMaggio type stance, a fella had a problem overstriding. But what about a Musial? What about that little tiny closed stance? What could have been his problem, I wonder?
Banks closing early.
Banks closing early. 2-2. Boy, do I give you the good ones, huh?
Oh, he set that one up.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
He used to really get steamed when they closed at 1:30.
Yankees 3, Angels nothing, top of the 3rd. Ball 3. Say one thing with Whitson. when he misses so far today, it has been like 9 out of 10 misses away from the hitter.
And that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Way away.
3-2. Grounded foul down the line, out of play.
I just have to throw this in, talking about problems with Musial. Ted Williams, when he unveiled his statue at the Hall of Fame, he said that Musial had to be the greatest hitter he ever saw because they had 2 off days, and the Red Sox came to scout us. Both days, Stan was 5 for 5. 5 for 5.
Here's a 3-2 pitch, and that's a line drive foul down the line. You know, you mentioned something else that's a key. You said about 2 off days. Billy Martin is very concerned. He has a tired ball club, and he was looking at his schedule. The Yankees have 3 off days in September. However, 2 of them are going to be used to make up for the games lost for the 2-day strike. That's fouled away. In other words, the only day off the Yankees will have is the 23rd of September. Period.
Where are they?
Well, they're in Baltimore, and then they come home, so at least they'll have 1 day. But he was really worried. It'd work out.
They'll work out that day.
Not if he can help it. No way. 3-2. Fastball.
Workouts in September is so funny. In Pittsburgh, we lost 112 games. We worked out in September, and Medkovich said we didn't want complacency to take over. We were in last place by about 22 games, and we're working out for what?
Mork trying to get something going with 2 out. Breaking ball fouled away. So Brian Downing is hanging tough. Boy, he's hacking at everything around the plate. That one hurt.
With that batting cage he has at home, he sets up the machine for the pitcher's best pitch of that day. You talk about working it out.
Got him. Foul tip, and he came inside. That was the last place that Downing was expecting it. It was the location more than anything else. 3-0 Yankees. Those numbers on the left-hand side become a litany of frustration and anger, I'm sure, for Ron Romanic after an 8-day layoff. At the rate he's going, 20 pitches an inning, naturally 180 pitches, he'd be carried out on his shield. So he's going to have to start throwing strikes and getting people out. However, when you think about it, you know, the Yankees beat the Angels in a game recently 13-10. And if you can imagine this, the first inning took 68 minutes. 17 of 18 men came up in the first inning. Right. Ron Hasse had some kidney stones problem. We mentioned earlier about the great job that Clyde King has done. There's the bunt foul. When you think back of the Yankees, first of all, people like Kemp and Foley, Smalley, Marino, Cerrone, Hara are all gone. Pagliarulo and Meacham has given them a better defense. Then, of course, the acquisition of Ricky Henderson, the igniter, as Clyde called him. Then the Fontenot deal that brought Hasse Bordy, that had to help. When they traded Cerrone away, they came up with one of the better young arms in baseball, right-hander Brian Fisher. And when they traded Toby Hara away, they came up with Billy Sample, and he's helped in the outfield. So really, Clyde King has done a great job. Let's see if Ron just did get his feet out of the way of it.
If you want to knock somebody down, that's the spot. Because by the time your brain tells your feet to get out of there, you're all out of sync. Look at them unfold.
1 ball and 2 strikes to count to Ron Hasse. He has 9 home runs, 27 RBIs. Romanic, as we mentioned at the start, figures to be wild. Might have chased a bad ball, but down he goes. See where that ball was in relationship to the strike zone.
Breaking ball, curve ball, looked like it might have been high, maybe even outside. Definitely outside and definitely high.
Almost across the bridge to Jersey. And the batter, Don Baylor. Baylor has a sense of humor. You have to have a sense of humor to be hit 190 times. He wears a T-shirt now. There's a bullseye on the T-shirt. And trying to do his best now to knock off a club for whom he was the most valuable player. He had 36 home runs and 139 RBIs that year. Fouled away. 0-2 for the big guy. Remember earlier this year when the Red Sox hit him, he was very angry and he said, hey, I'm not going to have it, I'm not going to take it. But he hasn't made another sound. He just gets hit and goes about it. 1-2.
See, he's a big, well-developed guy. You can see his pants are almost like sprayed on him. Big, tough, strong legs.
Every time they hit him, they throw the ball out. High foul, out of play. It's 3-0 Yankees. 3 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. The Angels, no runs, no hits, no errors.
See a guy like that walk on in college for football. If he doesn't make the club, you use him for a team bus. Strong.
He's 6'1" and 210. But he's even more impressive looking in that pinstripe uniform. Line drive, base hit. Over to get it is Brian Downing. And Baylor's going for 2. The throw, he is in there.
That plane looked like it was very slow in developing. The throw from Downing was all the way on a fly, but it may have hurt him. Because if the throw is lower, he might be able to make the tag. Watch it develop here. All the way. And that allows him to get in there.
So Baylor doubles. He had one last night. That's the second double for the Yankees today. They have a half a dozen hits, leading 3-0. And with one out, here's Willie Randolph, who singled in the second inning and came around to score. Big overhand deuce for a strike. 0-1. Baylor working on the laces on his left shoe, so timeout for the moment. You have some combination here. You have the Yankees, the best home record in the major leagues, and they are chewing up Western Division teams. They've only lost 6 games to a Western Division team all year. They have beaten the Angels 7 out of 10. They are 27-6 against the West. 1 ball and 2 strikes. In the dirt, blocked nicely.
That was blocked nicely. That curveball is going to, the overhand spin as we look at Gene Mauch, is going to break to Boone's left. He got in front of it and kept Baylor from advancing. Randolph very good at hitting the ball to the opposite field. They're shading him towards right center field. Look how far away he is from the plate. Looks like you could really nip that outside corner, and he couldn't cover it with the bat.
2-2. Let me ask you another question, seriously, talking about batting styles. You're the catcher, and you see a Willie Randolph standing that far away from the plate. Where does he want the ball by standing that far away?
If you had never seen him with no scouting reports, wants the ball inside.
That's what I thought.
But what you would do is give him enough inside, move him back, and then take that 1 or even 2 shots at that outside corner.
2-2. Ball 3. Billy Martin, who has some people who are really performing for him, trying to win the 69th game under his latest reign. Fouled away.
Willie Randolph that far back can still get, as we no score in a Chicago-Toronto game, big ball game, can still get the bat on the ball and drive it to right center and right field. Mike Schmidt, remember, changed his batting stance that way. He was on top and then he moved back in the batter's box. And going farther, way back, Rogers Hornsby hit like that, deep in the batter's box.
3-2. And got him. Oh, yes. So Willie Randolph is caught looking. And for Romanek, he picks up 2 strikeouts in the inning. And now Mike Pagliarulo coming out.
Looked like a strike all the way. Fastball right down the middle. No doubt is over the plate.
Yeah.
And Randolph, for some reason, thought it might have been inside. Here's a spot where you're going to get a chance to see Boone, whether he wants to work on Pagliarulo or go to Meacham. Because you've got a first base open. Not you're going to put him on. You're going to work on him, but you really have the leverage as the pitcher and catcher.
So Baylor at second with 2 out. We're in the 3rd inning, 3-0 Yankees. Off speed. 0-1. We're talking about the Yankees' superiority against Western Division teams. When you look back over the league championship series in the American League, the East has won 12 of the 16. Only the great Oakland teams 3 years in a row and the Royals of '80 able to do it. So it's really been lopsided. 0-2.
2 curveballs, 2 overhand curveballs. Look like neither one in the strike zone. If you were catching now, what would you call for? Think about it.
What do you like?
I'd stay with that curveball out of the strike zone again. If I were doing it, I certainly wouldn't give him a strike.
Pagliarulo with the count 0-2, hitting .241.
Curveball.
Stayed away, too. By the way, in that Chicago-Toronto game, no score in the 5th inning, Doyle Alexander, the veteran, pitching for Toronto, and the rookie Joel Davis pitching for Chicago. Quite a contrast. 1-2. So he winds up striking out the side. That'll shape up his confidence a little bit. And at the end, a 3. The Yankees 3 and the Angels nothing. We go to the 4th inning. And Gene hoping to get something started now with Rupert Jones, Rod Carew, and Reggie Jackson. It will be particularly interesting when Rod Carew comes up. Remember, we saw him gesturing in the dugout about how he might bunt. Let's see whether he was kidding on the square or not. Billy Martin has seen a very strong 3 innings from Ed Whitson. Whitson has walked Grich on a 3-2 pitch, and that's it. He has struck out 3. Fastball, 1 hopper into right field. So hit number 1 from Rupert Jones. Now let's watch Rod Carew. First we'll show you what happened to him again, just to refresh your memory.
Rod Carew.
Schofield comes up with the ball. Now the tag, and he gets Baylor on the thigh. And that's when he really feels it. You can see him grab that left hand.
We just got a report from the press box, which we pass along. Look at him run up. Ball 1. Bill Madlock, the 3rd baseman, the batting champion, has been traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers for 3 players to be named later. I had just read a quote in the paper 3 days ago from Al Campana saying, "We are no longer interested in Bill Madlock." Of course, Enos Cabell had a sore side and was out. Bob Baylor, bad ankle. Madlock, of course, with 4 batting championships, and you're looking at a guy who has won the crown 7 times in the American League, hacking away with a bad left wrist. 2-1.
Joe Brown is unloading over at Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. Jones at first, held on by Mattingly. 3-0 Yankees in the 4th. High slicing foul ball down the left field line, curling towards the seats and out of play. 2-2.
And Brown made that deal with the Angels. It involved Candelaria and Hendrick and Holland. He said, I want some fellas over here who want to play. And we had some fellas that we got rid of didn't want to play.
And were rather outspoken, such as Candelaria. 2-2. And there goes the runner, and there's a line drive base hit to left. And now the Angels are really in business because Reggie Jackson represents the tying run with nobody out.
The designated hitter, Reggie Jackson.
He was going to left field all the way, and he just waits on that ball to the last minute and takes it a perfect, just a typical Carew hit. Pitch him there, he's going to hit you that way. Bill Monboquette has come out. He wants to talk to Whitson.
You know what's interesting to me? Could we look at that swing again? The only reason is there's so much movement. I realize the man has 3,000 hits, but watch all the movement with his hands and everything. Watch now. Look at him go down.
Into the hitting
area.
He
straightens him up. I mean, that's a lot of movement, isn't it?
Until the ball gets into the hitting area. That's
so
a baton. He is.
One single away from Trispeaker. So 2 on, nobody out, and here he is. Hit back to the box on a check swing. And drives one into right center. Winfield moving over, and this one is off the wall. Around third is Jones to the plate with the throw, not in time. Stopping is Carew on a double by Reggie. And it is 3-1 Yankees.
And Carew was right on top of Jones. Thought maybe we might see a repeat of the play. It involved Meacham and Berra, but Carew stopped at third.
Third baseman.
Reggie off the plate, looked like he hit a slider. Out over the plate. Hit that ball hard.
Look at that, 1,001. So he's the tying run at second now. Second and third, nobody out. It is 3-1 Yankees. And Howell fouls it away. 0-1.
Reggie's calling time for some reason.
I thought maybe he wanted the ball, but it's gone into the seats. Oh, he's checking with Stubing. 0-1 to count. Chicago, they haven't posted that. Now they have. The White Sox leading Toronto 2-0 on the scoreboard here at Yankee Stadium. Ground ball hard, and the run coming to the plate. The out recorded at first. So Carew brings it in as Howell grounds out. That makes it 3-2 Yankees. The tying run, Jackson, with the ball hit ahead of him, had to stay at second.
Bobby Grich.
Jackson having an animated conversation with Willie Randolph. And the batter, Bobby Grich. Bobby walked in the second inning. So Yankees 3, Angels 2 in the fourth inning. Jones single to right, Carew single to left. Jackson doubled to right center to score Jones. Carew came home as Howell grounded out. And waiting on deck, Bob Boone. Foul back. Challenged him, let her high fastball. So that 3-0 lead has almost disappeared in that Yankee dugout.
They're really playing Grich straight away. Henderson right in line with second base, and that pitch was inside, but everything else has been to the outside part of the plate. And he's got a big gap in right center field. Kind of a odd way of setting up a defense.
Fastball, 2-2.
Take a pitch like that, you're looking for something. He was looking for a breaking pitch just like I was.
Well, Whitson has been throwing so hard without the breaking ball. You got to figure this time around he's coming with it. Another fastball. I wonder too if that's why he got into such trouble here in the 4th inning. He was pitching the same way the second time around. A lot of knowledgeable hitters in that Angel lineup. Jackson at second, 1 out. 3-2 Yankees. High foul on the right field line, out of play.
Then you talk about knowledgeable hitters on the Angels. It just fits right in with what Gene Mauch was talking about when he was asked, what is one of the biggest strengths of your ball club? He says, my fellows know how to play the 8th, 9th innings and extra innings. And that only comes from knowledge and experience.
3-2 to Bobby Grich. On the Toronto game, we'll go to Bill McAtee in New York.
All right, Vin, you mentioned the scores. The White Sox have broken the scoreless deadlock in Toronto in the 5th. Brian Little hits what appears to be a double play ball. Damaso Garcia's throw to first is low. Willie Upshaw can't handle it. Luis Salazar scores. It is 2-0 Chicago.
All right, Bill, and here's Bob Boone trying to get Jackson home. It is 3-2 Yankees, top of the 4th inning. Booney grounded out in the 2nd, rolled to the right side to Willie Randolph.
Jackson's going to have some trouble scoring on the single. They're playing shallow in the outfield.
Now back. You know, the Angels on paper are a singularly unimpressive team. You can play a shallow outfield. For instance, the Angels are the only team in the American League West without a 300 hitter. And they have no leaders in batting average, home runs, RBIs, slugging, runs, walks, doubles, triples, you name it. But they're atop the heap. High fly ball. Winfield says he has it. So the Angels get 2 on 3 hits, leave the tying run at second with nobody out. And at the end of 3 1/2, 3-2 Yankees.
Your attention.
We're looking at Cheryl Howard, Elston Howard, her dad, a great Yankee, great guy. Cheryl sang the national anthem, and she's sitting in George Steinbrenner's box watching the game.
It's one of those poignant thoughts you have, how proud he would have been to live to be wearing a Yankee uniform and see his daughter sing the national anthem here. He'll never be forgotten, as you can see.
It's ironic, too, Vin. I bring it up because I was in St. Louis all week, and I'm driving from my neighborhood, the Hill, to where the hotel. I had to go by what used to be Vashon High School, where Elson went to school.
By the way, just working one into the other, heartiest congratulations to you. Joe Garagiola all week in the city of St. Louis. An overnight success.
An overnight success.
But it was a great week for you.
It was. At Union Station, you just have to see it.
That's a strike to Bobby Meacham. He'll be followed by Ricky Henderson and then Ken Griffey. Did they give you anything? I mean, let's get down to it.
I had the key to the city, and I said, that's great. And Mary Shamos said, but we changed the locks.
1-1. 3-2 Yankees. Good one. The Yankees got 3 in the first 2 innings. The Angels fight back in the top of the 4th, and the sun comes out. High fly ball into right field. Going back is Rupert Jones in the corner. Leaps. It's gone. So Bobby Meacham's first home run of the year. 4-2 Yankees. If he looks shocked, it's almost an anniversary. His last home run was the 27th of August last year.
Watch Rupert Jones as he tries to make it. It just does get over there. It went 310 feet and 4.5 inches, but that's enough, and there's a very happy Bobby Meacham.
The batter now, Ricky Henderson. Line drive backhanded by Schofield. They've been talking about this catch. If you haven't seen it, watch. Marty Barrett of the Red Sox is the hitter. And watch what Ken Griffey does. It's hard to believe. Did he ever get up there? Now watch. See what happened? Dave Winfield gave him an Olympic judgment. Winfield said as far as the leap and the catch, it was a perfect 10, but his dismount was a 5. Line drive at the second baseman, Gretsch.
The Angels may have to call time and take a roll call here. That's a ball being hit.
Gretsch acted as if he didn't see the ball. I read his lips, and he had said to Rod Carew after he threw the ball to the mound, he looked over and he said, I didn't see the ball. You got to remember it coming right out of the shirt sleeves.
It knuckled out there too.
Here's Mattingly, walked and singled to drive in a run. Strike. You know, Bobby Meacham hit the home run and made it all the way around the bases successfully for the first time since August 27th last year in Oakland. However, there should be an asterisk and a footnote. There's a drive into deep center. Back goes Pettis. He's got room. He'll make the catch. Back in April 29 of this year, Meacham hit an apparent home run, only past a base runner. And with that lovely thought, we'll be back after these messages from Willie. The White Sox 2-0 lead was short-lived. Toronto has come back to get even. We're not sure if they have posted that on the scoreboard or not.
The center fielder, Gary Pettis.
Gary Pettis, followed by Dick Schofield and then Brian Downing in the 5th inning. Yankees 4 runs, 7 hits. The Angels 2 runs, 3 hits. Pettis, as we told you, has now struck out 100 times. Better than 80% from this side of the plate. So somehow he's got to make some contributions as a left-handed hitter.
You'd almost be looking bunt after the last time at bat.
1-1. Well, Pagliarulo is in on the edge of the grass.
And you can see the pattern. Just throw strikes with good hard stuff, both to Pettis and to Schofield.
1-2. Again for Gary Pettis. What a sad walk back. We'll take a quick happy hop to New York.
All right, Vin, you mentioned the score. The Blue Jays have tied it up in the bottom of the 5th. The White Sox leading 2-1 with 2 out. This Tony Fernandez single scores Jesse Barfield from second. Barfield had doubled home the first run, so it is 2-2.
Line drive by Schofield in the corner, foul into the seats. 0-1. Tony Fernandez. What a kid shortstop he is for Toronto. Woo. Down in the Angel bullpen, Doug Corbett, who had a bad knee, has just come off the disabled list and begins to loosen up. Romanek was throwing some BBs in the 4th inning, but the wrong way. 1-1. Schofield popped up in the 3rd. Dick 0 for 1. On the corner. There's a little extra pressure, I think, on the Angels right now. even though they're leading in their division, they're trailing in this game 4-2. When you look at the schedule after this weekend, high fly ball curling down the line, a trio of Yankees in pursuit, but it's out of play. Here's the point about the Angels. After this weekend, Gene Mauch's crew will have only 4 series left at home. Kansas City will have only 4 series left on the road. And of course, in September 30th, October 1, 2, and 3, California plays 4 games in Kansas City, just like the Yankees have 7 left with Toronto. We're a long way away from showdown time. Ball 3. Four to 2 Yankees. Top of the 5th inning, 1 away. Line drive just by Pagliarulo's glove. Base hit to left. 4 hits for the Angels, and they'll bring up Brian Downing.
The ball was well hit by Schofield, and you can see why you're going to have to be patient with that young man. He just has tremendous ability, and they kind of rushed him into the breach. And as far as defense, he's got it all. It's a matter of becoming accustomed, acclimation, or what have you. I tell you, he's got some tools to work with.
You know, last year when Schofield started, he was really in trouble because he was late swinging at fastballs, and he was always out in front of the curveball. And it got so they tried to advise him. They said, look, just go up there and look for 1 pitch. I mean, you can't go 0 for 2 against 2 different pitches. Sit on one of them, either a fastball or a curveball, but make sure. And he started to sit on a fastball, and he's been trying to handle it. Tough way to learn on the job training in the big leagues.
In the big leagues, very difficult, because they expect you to be, you should have arrived by the time you get here. I mean, it may sound a little bit yogiism, but that's it. You got to learn on the job is tough.
2-0, and he's playing a key position, shortstop, on a team that's leading its division. Oh.
In a pennant race, right.
Two balls, no strikes. In there. Brian not wearing his glasses. Little fly ball into shallow right. Winfield has to come a long way. He is there and almost overran it. A little gust of wind was blowing it away from him, and that complicated matters because the breeze is blowing from left to right.
It looks like he's just not sure of himself, or maybe even the footing is not that solid. Right there, he seems to lose it, and hey, he reaches back, and it turns out to be a little tougher play than he thought.
Dave Righetti. Yeah, there's an idea of why that breeze blowing from left to right. Righetti gets up. We're only in the 5th inning. A little surprising to see Rags begin to throw down on the Yankee bullpen. Rupert has flied to left, single to right. 1 for 2. He came home on the double by Reggie Jackson. He was late. 0-1.
Did you see where Hasse was setting up for that pitch? It looked like he was even out of the strike zone.
There's Righetti. 0-1 to count. Boy, they're really working that corner.
They really are. He's set up way outside and set up very early. It's one of those things that sometimes a hitter will take a peek and say, hey, maybe he is telling the truth this time. But Hasse is really setting up outside. Fastball again.
And the runner goes, and it's fouled away. So Schofield going with 2 out. And the count 0-2. I thought I got the indication, too, from Hasse that he wanted it outside.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Definitely. He's set up out there, pointed out there. You can see he's looking at Billy now, asking, you think we should pitch out? He just motioned over, throw to first base. You saw him flick the hand even before he gave a signal.
Schofield at first, held on by Mattingly. 2 out in the 5th inning. 4-2 Yankees. 1-2.
Pitch out.
No action. We read it again. Hey, Billy, Joe knows your pitch out. 2-2 the count. High fly ball curling foul and way out of play. So Rupert Jones trying to keep things alive with 2 out. He has Rod Carew on deck. The Yankees 4, the Angels 2 in the 5th inning. There he goes. And there goes the ball. High, deep, and gone. Rupert Jones hits his 20th home run, and they've tied it up 4-4. Whoo, did he jump on that one?
High fastball, and he really upper decked it. I mean, he hit it. Here comes Billy out of the dugout. Got that ball inside, and Rupert really jumped all over it.
It's interesting that he finally did come inside after all those pitches away. Very unhappy Billy Martin sees a 3-0 lead go down the drain and a 4-2 lead down the drain.
You see where Hasse was set up. He just missed the target completely. He wanted the ball outside, got it inside, and Rupert, listen to that bench.
Yes, sir.
So some high fives get it to 4-4, and we'll be back after this. A 4-4 tie. And isn't it only right that a big noise should be made in Yankee Stadium by a man named Rupert?
Pretty good. Colonel Rupert.
And most of the kids looking in and saying, what? Dave Righetti being brought in from the bullpen. And Carew and Jackson are the hitters he is asked to get. Righetti, as you can see, with 23 saves, has been in 62 games. He has 87 innings under his belt. The big thing, as most relief pitchers will point out, not just the number of games and the number of innings, but it's the number of times that they are asked to get up and warm up, and perhaps are not used in the game at all. I'd like to remind our viewers we'll be selecting the NBC Light Beer for Miller Player of the Game at the conclusion of the ball game. So Rod Carew hit back to the box, single to left. He's got that bad left wrist from the tag with Don Baylor. And we have 2 out in the inning. 4-1.
You know, the other thing, too, for Carew, and he has so many singles, look how far down on the bat he holds it. Bottom hand is almost off the bat.
2-0 the count.
Most of the times a singles hitter will be choking up on the bat, not Rodney.
The American League's MVP in 1977. He hit .388 back then. He's hitting .277 now. What a career. Ground ball to the hole, but plugging it up at short is Meacham to get him. You know who was walking up to the plate to hit? Reggie Jackson. They're going to eat him alive here. When Carew grounded to short, Reggie Jackson on deck thought that was only the second out, and he walked all the way up to home plate. And oh, did the fans get all over him as he walked back to the dugout. But I think that's part of the price you pay when you're a designated hitter. You're just not in the game.
You try to stay in, you do different things. Downey Moore.
They just said this guy wants to be on television.
Yeah.
Attaboy, Reg, get the heat off. Turn him around, John Candelaria. All right, Candy. Very big in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, with Donnie Moore and the DH relaxing in the dugout, Doug Corbett, who has just come off the disabled list, he had a knee problem. And boy, do they need him. He does not have a save. He's been in 24 games. But now that they have lost Stu Clyburn, and Gene Mauch was saying Clyburn could be out anywhere from a week on, they need some extra arms out of the bullpen. Clyburn, by the way, was 8-2, had an earned run average of 1.8. He had 5 saves and made 1 pitch last night. Pulled a muscle in the rib cage, and he's out. No wonder Mauch has gray hair, or any manager in this business.
It's funny. I saw a story this week. Davey Johnson, the Mets, watched our game last week. We took a close-up of Sparky Anderson, and then one of Gene Mauch. He says, "Is that what's going to happen to me? All that gray hair?"
Boy, it's a tough way to go. 4-1 to Dave Winfield. Corbett, a Floridian. He came in a deal from Minnesota, and I guess you'd have to say the Angels are sorry they made the deal, because one of the players they traded away to get Corbett, Tom Brunansky. One ball, one strike. Breaking ball hit wide to third. Jack Howell takes care of Winfield. 1 down here in the 5th inning. A reminder, this telecast presented by authority of Major League Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of Major League Baseball. Hasse and Baylor now coming up. Ron is single to right and struck out. We have a 4-4 tie, bottom of the 5th inning. Another thing that is happening here at Yankee Stadium, and for traditionalists, it is certainly a good thing to see, the home run. After all, it had always been the Bronx Bombers. And the Yankees might very well have 5 men this year to hit at least 20 home runs. They had 5 back in 1962. Maris, Mantle, Howard, Skowron, and Tresh. And this might be the first Yankee team since '62 to have 5. Mattingly, Winfield, Henderson, Baylor, Pagliarulo. 2-0 the count to Hasse, who is 1 for 2. And look at that, the Sox in Toronto still even in the 7th inning. Corbett is just off the disabled list. He has not made an appearance in a game since the 22nd of July, and it was against Milwaukee. So you had Romanek, who was off 8 days, and Romanek was outspoken about it was too much time. He's a 5-day pitcher, and he lasted through the 4th inning. Now here's Corbett, who hasn't worked since the middle of July. Don Baylor grounded to short and doubled, 1 for 2. Bottom of the 5th inning in a 4-4 tie.
They have Carew playing behind the runner at first base, and you saw a little cat and mouse game. Baylor asked Springstead to ask Corbett to move the rosin bag. He picked it up and maybe moved it back about 1.5 inches.
That's a strike. Hasse does not have a stolen base, nor has he been involved in one.
And probably has not even been given the sign.
No. One and one. Don Baylor. The Yankees have had a stolen base today. Bobby Meacham stole second in the 2nd inning. The Yankee ratio of stolen base success is around 80%. They steal just about 8 out of every 10. So when they go, there's something. 2-1. There you can see the Yankees jumped out in front. The Angels got close. The Yankees opened it up again, and the Angels tied it on the 2-run home run by Rupert Jones in the 5th inning. Meacham homered for the Yankees in the 4th. So Baylor appeared tied up. Down he goes. Doesn't have much of a swing.
He got that ball inside is what he did, and he made him hurry his swing. Almost like he was trying to fight it off. He started with his hands out and had to pull them back in, and by then it was just a bit too late. Make a fellow do anything in a hurry, and he's going to make a mistake.
So you have 2 down in the 5th inning, and Willie Randolph, the batter. Randolph singled, came around and scored a run and struck out, 1 for 2, hitting a solid .272. Ball 1.
From up here in that center field shot, Ben looks like he's throwing a pretty good sinker. He keeps that ball right around the knees or just below the knees. He's going to be tough.
Randolph with Pagliarulo on deck, and banged into right center, base hit. Hasse to second, will hold as Pettis up with the ball. So with 2 on and 2 out, Mike Pagliarulo coming out. A perfect combination there with 2 out. Hasse, the catcher, doesn't figure to try and take the extra base, and particularly against Gary Pettis. Pagliarulo has grounded out and struck out, 0 for 2. Hitting .240. He has 16 home runs, 49 runs batted in.
That Boone, the way he's catching that sinker ball, he's not catching it coming up by opening his glove. He's catching, you see the back of it, and he's just kind of snatching it.
Massey at second. Randolph at first. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Mike Pagliarulo. 2 out on a 4-4 tie in the 5th. For the Yankees, we're only in the 5th inning, but now that Pagliarulo has Hasse at second base, it means every Yankee has come up at least once today with a runner in scoring position. And it's hit to right in the corner. Jones goes over.
Low inside, out over the plate. A power alley pitch, and he hit it. Surprised it was that good with Meacham coming up. I know you got base runners on, but Meacham, even though he has a home run, not likely to do what Pagliarulo has just done.
They want him to take a curtain call to come out and take his bow. Here he comes. So we mentioned the home run is really returning to Yankee Stadium, and it does look. That was his 17th. That the Yankees, for the first time since '62, will have 5 men who hit at least 20 home runs. And for Gene Mauch, bad day at Black Rock. Ground ball in the hole. Under the glove of Grich. And holding at first is Meacham. So Meacham gets a base hit. Billy Martin, I think, was annoyed. Meacham, when he tried to get around first, Carew was in his way. That's what Billy's arguing about. If we see the play again, you'll see where Carew was, and watch Meacham try to get to the bag. And Bobby felt that his runner was almost prevented.
I think he's stretching the point. I really do. Because Meacham, he really isn't in good stride there, and now he's going to go around him. I don't know where he was going to go, cut it that short. That's one of those for public consumption arguments.
I think Carew is trying to explain to Meacham his positioning and why he was there. But as Meacham went down the line, suddenly he had to move to the... He made an S turn and then went around Carew. And here is Ricky Henderson. Fly to center, had a scoring fly ball and lined out. 0 for 2. A fine writer in Philadelphia, John Lowe, when the Yankees got Ricky Henderson, he had a pretty good line based on Henderson's speed. He said that Ricky Henderson is the getaway car for Murderer's Row. But suddenly, Henderson is no longer just a getaway car. He has 20 home runs. (7-4) Yankees. Home runs by Meacham with nobody on. The big one by Pagliarulo with 2 aboard. And there goes the runner, Meacham, and it's fouled away. We had a 2-run home run in the 5th inning by Rupert Jones. The Yankees 7 runs, 10 hits. The Angels 4 runs, 5 hits. 2 out. Meacham has stolen 20 bases this year. Not going. Ground ball to short. Schofield, the quick way to Grich, and that's it. But the damage was done by Pagliarulo. And Billy Martin threw in a couple of ad libs. 7-4 Yankees. Here's another edition of Baseball Remembers. You know, in looking at the difference between the 2 lineups, for instance, you take the 8th and 9th hitter for the Angels. You were mentioning before that they're pretty much out hitters right now, especially with Pettis hitting left-handed. The Yankees' 8th and 9th hitters each have hit a home run.
And Meacham has 3 base hits. It's a tough spot to hit, but you got to get some kind of help there. And Pagliarulo, he jumped on the ball when he got inside. Just Corbett can't get that ball low and inside to the left-hand hitter like that.
We'll be checking the scoreboard throughout the afternoon, of course. And with Dave Righetti coming in, Gary Pettis will now at least go the other way when his turn comes. And talking about when his turn comes, Reggie finally will have a chance to come up to the plate and swing. So Jackson will start it off. He'll be followed by Howell and Grich. Reggie somewhat embarrassed when he was left at the plate, forgetting how many outs there were in the 5th inning.
Reggie Jackson.
Reggie hit back to the box and doubled in a run in the 4th inning.
See, that's one of the things that Reggie does, and that's why it's hard for him to be a DH. He'd rather be playing every day, is that he likes to visit. He's a social kind of player. He talks to everybody.
Oh, look at this.
Music. He's saying, why play the music when I'm up there hitting? Turn it off.
Well, I know he's protesting that. And, you know, Brad Wellman of the Giants recently in a game at Shea Stadium, Dwight Gooden was pitching, and every time Gooden gets 2 strikes on a hitter, they go a little wild over at Shea, and that's okay. However, on the message board on the screen, they were showing with 2 strikes a shark, the teeth of a shark coming. And Wellman found that very distracting, and he got Bob Engel, a plate umpire, as I understand it, that finally asked him, please don't do that. It might sound like showmanship and everything else, but it's tough on the hitter. And, of course, the music in the background, so Reggie was going to dance. 1-1.
He was right about it, and, of course, if Righetti strikes him out, you're going to hear such a roar.
Yes. They've already taken 1 bite out of him when he forgot the outs in the 5th inning. What's interesting, too, is the confrontation, and I didn't want to get in the way of it until after the fact. But Righetti grew up near Oakland, Northern California, and he said he absolutely idolized Reggie Jackson. He was his favorite player when Reggie was at Oakland. And every time there's a confrontation, it's a really dramatic moment for Righetti.
Especially when you got the kind of fastball and curveball that Righetti has, boy. That really makes it dramatic.
1 out. I don't know if he even knows Jack Howell, but he has him 0-2. We're in the 6th inning. The Yankees 7, the Angels 4. Toronto, Chicago 2-2 in the 8th. That's all for Howell.
High fastball looked like it was out of the strike zone, but when you throw that hard as a hitter, you have to try to protect that plate. It was high, all right.
The last day of August. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Everybody checking scoreboard. One other game, that's a Toronto game to check today. For the Angels, Kansas City plays tonight. And the famous line is sure holding true about all ball players check scoreboard. Two and 0.
It's about that time of the year you hear them say, no, we just worry about ourselves. We win enough games. They can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Sure. 2 and 0. 3 and 0. They're in the 8th inning, 2-2. By the way, in that game, Toronto's Doyle Alexander pitching. He is one of 2 active pitchers who has defeated all 26 teams in the big leagues. Remember, Doyle at one time was with the Dodgers. That's some record, isn't it? All 26 teams. The other active pitcher who has done it is Don Sutton. And there were 3 retired: Mike Torres, Rick Wise, and Gaylord Perry. Bob Boone grounded out, fly to right. 0 for 2. Well, you got some dark, ominous clouds overhead, but so far so good.
Flying in here yesterday, there was some ominous things up there, too.
Yeah. 1-0. Ground ball to shortstop. Meacham, underhand a little high to Willie Randolph, but he had time to get Gritch. That'll do it for the Angels in the 6th. At the end of 5 1/2, the Yankees 7 and the Angels 4. Coming up next, NBC Sports World brings you an exciting lineup of wrestling action. 400-pound sumo wrestlers square off in Japan's Grand National Sumo Tournament. Plus, Sports World examines the recent phenomenon of professional wrestling. Viewers in Los Angeles will see the wrestling and sumo show tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific time. I was reading an article about a sumo wrestler. He must have a great sense of humor. I think he was like 480 pounds, and they asked him what his hobby was. He said break dancing, which would mean he'd break anything he danced with, I guess.
Break dance halls.
Bottom of the sixth, 7-4 Yankees with Griffey, Mattingly, and Winfield. Ball one. Griffey double to right, walked, and lined out. He has scored a run, hitting .264. Chopper up the middle. Gritch backhand, short hops, throws, not in time. Boy, it was a fine play by Bobby.
And it's too bad. Griffey's got a hamstring pull, hasn't he? Until he saw that base hit inside.
That's right.
Miracle cure. He tops the ball. Even when he takes out that batter's box, pull or no pull, base hit inside. Look out. And he just flies down that line.
Backhand and short hop. Try and throw off balance.
And try to get Griffey.
Just made it. So Griffey at first. Great effort by Gritch. And the batter is Don Mattingly. Not only does Griffey have the hamstring pull, he wears a big, like an ace bandage around his knee. If he were a horse, you'd shoot him. You know, just looking at it. 1-0.
Until the base hit is inside.
Right. Suddenly he was whirl away. Mattingly has walked, single, fly to center. 1 for 2. Yankees 7, Angels 4. As soon as we get a report on that Toronto game, you shall have it.
I'm constantly amazed. I always kid Mattingly when I come in here. I said, "You got new stances today?" He said, "No, unless I don't get a hit the first 2 times up." But the way he places his feet, look at that back foot facing the catcher. The other one's pigeon-toed.
1-1. And he slices one down the line, foul, and out of play. We understand that Gary Lavelle has relieved Doyle Alexander. It's still 2-2. However, it's the bottom of the 8th inning. That's the latest. Tied up. Griffey at first, held on by Carew. With Mattingly, Winfield, and Hassey lined up back of him. Ground ball to Carew. He'll get the front man. The return throw not nearly in time. So a 3-6 for us from Carew to Schofield.
The right fielder, Dave Winfield.
Tough throw. And almost got the base runner Griffey. Carew's throw. You saw Schofield setting up on the shortstop side of the bag and then just kind of glide over there. And what I like about the young fella, he wasn't afraid to return the throw.
Also, and of course, I always like to see left-handed first baseman. It would have been a much easier play if Carew were left-handed, where he takes it at the belt buckle and throws across his body. Ball 1 to Dave Winfield. Winfield is flied to right, hit into a forced play, grounded to third. The big guy 0 for 3, hitting .279, but third in the league with 90 RBIs. Yankees 7, Angels 4. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. A little breaking ball in there. 1-1. You saw Winfield fake a bunt. Needless to say, he has not sacrificed. He would love to have the infield come up, but they refuse to budge. They are all deep. 1-1. See how far back he can fake all night. Nobody's going to come up for him.
Nobody's going to believe him.
No.
If he bunted the ball right now, George Steinbrenner put in a person-to-person call. What are you doing?
2-1. 2-2 the count of Dave. With 1 out in the 6th inning, the Yankees 7-11. The Angels 4 runs, 5 hits. Had a home run by Rupert Jones with a man aboard. Bobby Meacham with nobody on. And the big one, Mike Pagliarulo with 2 aboard. That broke a 4-4 tie. You have Mattingly at first with 1 out. Ground foul. Naturally, they don't want to take the bat out of the big guy's hand. And you wouldn't expect any running from Mattingly, who has stolen only 3 bases in his major league career. But Crew's going to hold him anyway. 2-2. Waiting his turn on deck, Ron Hasse. On the hands and bounce foul up into the seats. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. 6th inning, 7-4 Yankees. Billy Martin saw his club get out in front 3-0, but he saw the Angels come back and tie him up, so can't take anything for granted. That's ball 3.
Now, would you run him?
Yeah, I would, especially leading.
I agree. I'd run him.
Winfield has struck out 75 times. That's less than Meacham. There he goes. Fouled away. Gene Mauch. All he can do is try and ride it out. It's a tough road trip. New York is Detroit and Baltimore. Got his hands full. He goes again, and it's ball 4. So 2 on, 1 out, and Ron Hasse coming up. Hasse singled to right, struck out, and walked. Hasse's RBI was his base hit that picked up Griffey in the 1st inning, and he was aboard on the 3-run home run by Pagliarulo. So he finds 2 on and promptly unloads. Gone.
Like the same pitch Pagliarulo hit, low inside, and he really jumped on it.
And for Gene Mauch, his staff has just been torn apart. A career high for Ron Hasse, and it is 10-4 Yankees. Number 1 in the American League in runs scored, and again relying on the familiar Bronx Bomber method, the home run. They've hit 3 today. 1-0. Ground ball back a third, foul. Last Saturday, we saw the Detroit Tigers dismantled the Angels 13-2. So the Angels have really been torn up. That's why we were saying earlier the Angels are in first place, and yet it's hard to believe that they are. How about this? The Angels had a recent homestand where in 12 games the team hit .222. The pitching staff's earned run average was 5.5. They had 8 games where the total was 13 runs in the game, and they wound up winning 7 out of 12 of the games. That takes care of Baylor.
The second baseman.
10-4 Yankees, 10 runs, 12 hits. Ron Hasse, a career high, and every Yankee has now scored except Baylor and Henderson.
Lou Piniella gets a lot of credit from Hasse as far as his hitting. He's really driving the ball much better this year.
0-1.
Hasse used to be kind of a punch and Judy hitter. Just lay the bat on the ball the opposite field, and Pinella's got him throwing that bat, the barrel of it, into the ball and doing the job.
Strike.
Look at that scorecard, Vin, and Hasse's got, what, 4 RBIs?
Right.
2 runs scored.
Right.
Meacham's had a big day. The unexpected source.
Now, big bouncer back, and Corbett has it to get him. But the damage is more than done. Post another 3, and it's 10-4 Yankees at the end of 6. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Billy Martin has made his move in left field. Dan Pasqua taking over for Ken Griffey. Griffey, while he was in there, had a walk, a single, a double, and lined out. Dave Righetti, working the 7th inning, will be pitching to Gary Pettis, followed by Dick Schofield and Brian Downing. The Angels scored twice in the 4th and twice in the 5th.
Your attention, please.
In direct contrast to the Yankees, who have scored in every inning but the 3rd. And in the 3rd, they had a 1-out double by Baylor and left him.
Number 21.
Luis Sanchez throwing in the Angel bullpen. And now Pettis can go right-handed. As we told you, he is such a strikeout victim as a left-handed batter. 0-1. Pettis has good numbers from this side of the plate, hitting over 280. Two balls and no strikes. In there. Righetti had to come into the game a little early. He came in following the home run by Rupert Jones in the 5th inning, and he got Carew, and he's been in there since. Three and 1. In there again. Not a bad fastball, huh?
Sounds pretty fast, too.
Wow, 3 and 2.
All Hasse's doing is putting down fingers and remembering what they are.
Fouled away upstairs. Still 3 and 2. Nothing new to report. Chicago, Toronto. Last we heard, it's 2-2 in the 8th inning. Fouled off. Pettis is taped up. He has a bad thumb, and it's covered with the batting glove. with him. And of course, for Righetti, that's the one thing he hates to do, leading by 6 runs, and you walk the first hitter opening up the inning. That's the division. The Yankees 5 back, 4 in the loss column. Trying to win their 75th today and sweating out the Toronto game with Chicago. Ball 1. In the American League West, as you can see, the Angels are leading Kansas City by 2.5, but there's only 1 game difference in the loss column, and we explained about the schedule. Now we get a report that Toronto scored a run in the bottom of the 8th inning. They are still at bat, and they are leading Chicago 3-2. They have not posted that yet on the scoreboard here at Yankee Stadium. High fly ball down the right field line. Winfield, a late start. Can't get there. Foul ball.
Well, how hard he hits that wall. He kind of reaches over. Right there as he jammed it. He hit that harder than he wanted to.
Need that left-handed jolt. So Pettis holding at first. 10-4 Yankees in the 7th inning. Hot up the middle. Meacham kicks it, then gets a feed back in time for the 4th.
How do you like that? It gets a put out and an assist on the same play.
That's a nice usual routine 6-4-6-4 play.
Wobbles it, gets it, and got him. Took a little bit of a bad hop at the end. Nice play by Randolph. Pettis not going in slide may have helped the cause.
So with 1 out, Dick Schofield standing at first, and Brian Downing the batter. Mullenix a home run to widen the gap. High pop foul off first base. Mattingly to the lip of the dugout. It's on the roof. And the DH, Don Baylor, was going to make a contribution. He was going to catch Mattingly.
He was going to make sure the franchise wasn't going to get hurt.
He's a designated catcher.
Yes, sir. He's going to stand there and be a human wall. And that's what you should do. If you're in the game, you do that.
The count to Brian Downing. Grounded to third, struck out, fly to right. Lined into right center, but Winfield dropped it. I tell you, remember,
he called it out. He called it out at second base. We're going to have an argument here.
I thought he dropped it.
He did drop it, Ben. You were absolutely right. The second base umpire, Merrill, now he calls it safe. First base umpire called it safe, but he had the hand up there. And boy, they came shooting out of there.
Oh, I thought, you know, he's having trouble out there. See him flinching on the ball.
He caught that, hit him on the heel. Now he tried to put his foot under there.
And I thought he had
arm.
Yep, right. I also thought he had a very late start on the foul ball when he hurt himself. I don't know whether he's having trouble picking the ball off or what. The Winfield having some troubles out there. It'll go as a base hit. And with runners at first and second, Rupert Jones trying to get the Angels back in the game. Remember, the Yankees beat the Angels by the 10 score of 13-10 recently. Don't walk away on this one. Ball 1. Juan Benitez comes out on deck. He would bat for Rod Carew. Rupert Jones flied to left, single to right, and then hit a home run with a man aboard. That got the Angels even. Carew, with that bad left wrist, went 1 for 3. He hurt it on a tag play, tagging Baylor, in case you weren't with us. Fouled away. So Dave Righetti trying to hold on to a 10-4 lead with 1 out in the 7th inning. And just imagine if they didn't get the force play. Two balls, 2 strikes.
A game like this points out the importance of the fella who is now referred to as the setup man. Hold that other ball club till we score some runs, because you get a couple base runners on with the kind of power that either lineup has. You're right back in the game.
3-2. Big chopper. Mattingly starts to throw and then thinks better of it. So there'd be runners at second and third with 2 out. We'll be back, but let's go to New York.
All right, Vin, you mentioned the scores. The Blue Jays have broken the 2-2 tie in Toronto with 3 runs in the 8th, 2 here on this home run by Rance Mullinax, his 10th of the year. It is 5-2 Blue Jays. Toronto still batting in the bottom of the 8th. Back across the river to Vin and Jim.
All right, Bill, no tie-up today. You can go across rivers here in New York. Things are pretty peaceful. The Yankees leading the Angels 10-4, and the Angels' leading hitter, Juan Benitez, sent up there by Gene Mauch, who's trying to get back in the game. You have runners at second and third. We mentioned earlier the Angels do not have a 300 hitter. The only team in the West. Ball 1. 10 runs, 12 hits for the Yankees, including 3 home runs and a couple of doubles. The Angels have a home run and a double. To Benitez comes, you got it, Reggie. Three and 1. Coming down the line from third is Dick Schofield. Away from the bag at second is Brian Downing. 3 and 1 to Benitez. Play.
High riding fastball may have been out of strike zone, but when you got a 2-strike count, 3 and 2 is the actual count, you just can't be that choosy. And Benitez went to cutting and slashing.
We're in the 7th inning. The Yankees 10, the Angels 4. Ball 4. They've loaded him up for Reggie Jackson. And we have another Righetti-Jackson confrontation.
The designated hitter, Reggie Jackson.
And 86 home runs here at Yankee Stadium. He has a slam this year, in case you're wondering. Benitez Downing and Schofield out on the line with 2 out. Jackson hit back to the box, doubled, and then Righetti struck him out in the 6th inning.
Did it with 2 fastballs and a curveball. That was a fastball.
0-1. Line into left field. Pasqua makes the play. The Angels leave 3 at the end of 6½, 10-4 Yankees. Here's another edition of the 7th inning stretch. Luis Sanchez will become the 3rd Angel pitcher. It's been Ron Romanic, then Doug Corbett, and now Sanchez. A high ERA, so he's been a disappointment. And at first base, having batted for Rod Carew, Juan Benitez. Benitez has appeared defensively at every position this year except catcher and second base. He is also the Angels' top hitter, so he's really been quite a contributor to the club's success. Reggie Jackson, always the focus of attention, particularly here in New York, was embarrassed when he walked up to the plate after the 3rd out in the 5th inning, and the crowd got on him. In the 6th inning, they played music before he hit, and he wanted them to turn it off, so he kind of did a little dance at home plate and then struck out. And in the 7th inning, came up with the bases loaded and hit the ball hard, but right at Dan Pasqua in left field. Mike Pagliarulo, Bobby Meacham, and Ricky Henderson. Pagliarulo grounded out, struck out, and then unloaded a 3-run home run in the 5th inning. It was in the bottom of the 5th, and it broke a 4-4 tie. It made it 7-4 Yankees. Neil Allen begins to loosen up in the Yankee bullpen. Righetti brought in a little earlier than usual. So now Allen is up. That was a tough inning for Righetti, that 7th inning. Fouled away. Righetti has worked 2 1/3 innings. He has walked 3. He has struck out a couple, so he's made a lot of pitches. And in the cool, almost October air here in the 60s. 2-2. Corbett, while he was in, coming back off the DL, he had been out since the 22nd of July, went 2 innings, allowed 6 earned runs and 5 hits. And for Gene Mauch, of course, that injury to Stu Clyburn last night really killed him. There's a drive to right that will go foul. And you can see Toronto now sitting on top of a 6-2 lead in the top of the 9th inning. And they have just put it up on the scoreboard here, though the folks are not too happy about it. 3-2. This is game number 127 for the Yankees, so they'll have 35 left. That's ball 4. For the Angels, this is game number 129. They have 33 left.
The shortstop, Bobby Meacham.
It's going to come down to that head-and-head series. That's what it's going to come down to.
Remember again, the Yankees have 7 left with Toronto, the last 3 in Toronto. California has 4 at the very end in Kansas City. Fouled away.
Of course, when you look at the scoreboard, depending on which side you are, you have your own line. Yankees are saying, well, okay, we didn't game, but we didn't lose either. We're hanging right there. And Toronto is saying, well, that's another day off the schedule, so they can't catch us if we keep winning.
0-1. He tried to bunt. 0-2 the count. Meacham having a big day with 2 singles and a home run, leads the major leagues in sacrifices. He has 17 of them.
Had to be bunting for a base hit there.
Yeah. Leading 10-4 in the 7th inning.
That lead that Calfornia got off first base, it would have been a terrific bunt because he'd have been caught by surprise. I'll tell you, he's only a couple steps off the bag.
1-2. Foul ball. One and two to Bobby Meacham. Big day. 3 hits, including a home run, scored twice. Fouled away. So the hitters who have hurt the Angels, and this must be even more painful for Gene Moore. Not really Mattingly and Winfield or Henderson. It's been Hasse, Calfornia, and Meacham. 2-2. Wow. That thing went right into the Yankee dugout. And they're lucky that someone wasn't hit by that one. You talk about hitting the ball around a corner. And it's Winfield, I guess, who just did get out of the way of it. Whew.
Like Andre Robertson came close.
Gee, did that thing go in there.
Man, that one's happening there.
Dale Berra, Winfield.
Hey, what's going on?
High pop fly. Bobby Grich and Dick Schofield and Schofield. And Grich saying, hey, I know you don't talk much. Let me hear you.
The center fielder, Ricky Henderson.
1 down. Here's Ricky Henderson, fly to center. Then had a scoring fly ball lined out to short and hit into a force play. So Henderson 0 for 3 with a run batted in. Ball 1. Fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out. Bottom of the 7th. The Yankees 10 runs, 12 hits. The Angels 4 runs, 6 hits. They're in the 9th inning at Toronto, and Toronto leading Chicago 6-2. In there. 1-2. On deck, Dan Pasqua. Two and 2. And that's a little looper over first, down the line, foul. Home runs, a .335 batting average, and 59 runs batted in. What a leadoff man.
And then when he gets on base, that disruptive force that he is because of the speed.
2-2 to Ricky. Still 10-4 Yankees. We're in the 7th.
Nothing tougher than to be down like the Angels are by 6 and have your pitcher 3-2, 3-2, 3-2.
And that's really what happened to Sanchez when he came in for McCaskill last week against Detroit. Ground ball to short. Schofield to Grich and over to Benitez, and they get the double play. So they're gone in the 7th, and at the end of 7, the Yankees 10, the Angels 4. Howell, Grich, and Boone due up. As you can see, Toronto defeated Chicago 6-2, and it is now official. The Yankees, meanwhile, trying to hold on to any part of a 10-4 lead. They would remain 5 back, and Neil Allen will pick up for Dave Righetti, who went 2 1/3 innings. Righetti did not allow a run. He walked 3, struck out 2, allowed 1 hit, and now it's up to Allen. Neil Allen, in the history books in New York, he's the 33rd player to play for both the Mets and the Yankees. He was with the Mets, you might remember, from 79 through 83. And here's Jack Howell. Struck out twice, grounded out. Howell, Grich, and Boone. High twisting foul off third and out of play. We want to particularly send along our best wishes for a speedy recovery to Bob Starr. Welcome all you folks who've been watching the Chicago-Toronto game. Toronto winning at 6-2. The Yankees chewing up the Angels right now 10-4. 0-2 the count to Jack Howell. Bob Starr, the voice of the Angels, had chest pains yesterday and was sent to the hospital, where he is now under observation. And we just want him to know we're thinking of him and wish him a speedy recovery. This game was 3-0 Yankees. Then 3-2. Then 4-2 Yankees. Then 4-4. And then the Yankees broke it open with 3 in the 5th and 3 in the 6th. In there. So Neil Allen comes in to strike out Howell, and that'll bring up Bobby Grich.
The second baseman, Bobby
Next
Grich.
Saturday, NBC Sports continues its coverage of the '85 season. Red-hot Darryl Strawberry and the pennant-contending New York Mets battling Pedro Guerrero and the Dodgers in Los Angeles. And remember, the Dodgers just acquired Bill Madlock. I'll make that a little interesting. Coverage begins at 3 Eastern with Major League Baseball, an inside look. The tradition is here. The memories are waiting on the network of the 1985 League Championship Series.
Neil Allen has always had good stuff. You saw that good overhand curveball. In St. Louis, he just could never get untracked.
1-1. Strike. Yeah, when I saw him, I said, "How are you?" He said, "Great." Now.
Oh, he had a tough time in St. Louis. He tried to laugh his way through. He said, when they got me, I was supposed to make him forget about Suter. They traded Hernandez. He said, I was supposed to make him forget about Hernandez the way I pitched. They wanted to forget about me.
Slow curveball. Oh, what $1 million pitch. And Bobby Grich was just locked at the plate. Whoa.
Oh, he can do that to you. He's got the good overhand curveball. Now watch Bobby Grich. All you can do is kind of quiver. You want to swing, oops, and then everything just kind of unfolds, and there's nothing you can do but head back to the bench.
And with 2 down, the batter is Bob Boone. Strike. So in the 8th inning, 10-4 Yankees. And Neil Allen trying to put this thing on the shelf. Breaking ball rolled wide to third. Pagliarulo got it. So an easy top of the 8th, and at the end of 7 1/2, the Yankees 10 and the Angels 4. Coming up next, NBC Sports World brings you an exciting lineup of wrestling action 400-pound sumo wrestlers square off in Japan's Grand National Sumo Tournament. Plus, Sports World examines the recent phenomenon of professional wrestling. Viewers in Los Angeles will see the wrestling and sumo tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific time.
Have you ever seen a sumo wrestler match?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've never seen the match, no.
I mean, live?
I've just seen pictures.
When I went over to Japan with the Today Show, one of the spots we did is we look at Phil Necro, who needs 3 more for that 300. I saw a sumo. I couldn't believe how big those guys were.
Oh. One of the most popular sumo wrestlers, I understand, is from Hawaii.
That's the guy we interviewed. I'm trying to think of his name. I want to say Duke something, but Jesse, that's his.
O'Brien.
No,
Okay.
Yeah, O'Brien. Russo, Jesse Russo.
Bottom of the 8th, 10-4 Yankees. Dan Pasqua, ball 1. Dan got his first major league hit against the Angels earlier this year, and it was a home run against Ron Romanic. 1-1. Skoshi Nihongo Hanasemasu, eh?
That's who it is. Yeah.
That's my best line. It means I speak a little Japanese. 1-1. Looper to short. Short hop by Schofield.
What a play he made. Because when you hit a ball that softly in the infield and it hits the ground, it's got such spin on it. It's like miscuing in the pool game. He hit that right on the handle. He short hops it, and I mean, it wasn't that short a hop either. What a fine play by the youngster.
1 down, and Don Mattingly coming up. Mattingly has walked, single, flied out, hit into a force play. Strike.
Not to belabor the point, but I tried his stance up here. I think my belt broke and my sock slipped. I can't believe it.
And his feet really are
They're really
strangely
different.
placed.
Look, the back one facing the catcher, pointing that way. Look at that bat.
Drive to left and deep. Back goes Downing to the track. That wind, which is blowing from left to right, probably made the difference. Because it was close enough that without the wind, I think it might have carried out.
Oh, he is such a good hitter. That ball gets in that hitting zone. He is ready, and he laid into that when the wind hurt him, but he still hit it close to 380 feet.
What an out he is. So Dave Winfield coming up with 2 out in the 8th. Flied to right, hit into a force play, grounded out, and walked. Strike. When the Angels come up in the 9th inning and they're trailing by 6, they have Pettis, Schofield, and Downing. Fouled away. There's a case of guessing on a fastball so early you hit it at the end of the bat. He was way out in front of it. Cued it over there. Two to Winfield. Luis Sanchez, the 3rd Angel pitcher. Romanic, Corbett, and Sanchez. One and 2 to Dave. And he hits it to straightaway center, and that's a graveyard here. That's that. So the Yankees are gone in the 8th, and at the end of 8, Yankees 10, Angels 4. The Major League Baseball game of the week has been brought to you by light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less. By Ford, who invites you to drive the new Ford Escort. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Mutual of Omaha, people you can count on. And by Goodyear, makers of the great performing all-season radial Vector. Pettis fouling it off. Back to Hacken left-handed. He struck out twice as a left-handed batter, walked as a right-handed batter, hitting .241. One and one. Two balls and one strike to count to Gary Pettis. We're in the 9th inning. The Yankees 10 runs, 12 hits, including 3 home runs. The Angels 4 runs, 6 hits, 1 home run. Rupert Jones with a man aboard. The Yankee home runs, Meacham with nobody on, and 3-run home runs by Mike Pagliarulo and Ron Hasse. In there, 3-2. So Gary Pettis somehow trying to get it started. Toronto won. The Yankees trying to keep pace. They would then still trail by 5. Meanwhile, tonight, Kansas City is at Texas. Lee Brandt and Russell. Fouled away. So Pettis walks, opening up matters in the 9th inning. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Michael Weissman. The coordinating producer for NBC Baseball, Harry Coyle. The telecast of today's game of the week, produced by George Finkel, directed by John Gonzalez. Pregame produced by Les Dennis. Pregame directed by Joe Michaels. Technical directors Lenny Stucker and Bruce Shapiro. Schofield is 1 for 3. Popped up, singled, hit into a force play. So Righetti walked the leadoff man Pettis in the 7th, and now Pettis walks in the 9th inning against Allen. The Angels down by 6. High pop foul behind the plate. Hasse coming back. No play. Paid attendance today 26,991. 26,991. The Yankees at home have drawn over 1.6 million. Drawn over 2 million on the road, and they're just a couple of thousand below their average at the crowd today. Ball 2. Down the line and going foul. Tim Welke way down the line to make sure. Schofield has 8 home runs. Looks like he dropped his music on the way to the choir loft, but he can still hit the ball far. 2-2. Hesitation of Allen that time, just before he let the ball go. See if he does that all the time.
He's trying to snap that one off. Yeah. He wanted a good breaking ball. He get that 3rd strike by him. Gripped it too tight.
Fastball hit down the right field line and foul.
Enough pigeons flying around here. You get the feeling that you're doing an Alfred Hitchcock Birds kind of thing. They're all over the place.
Yeah, they are. It's a comment on the game.
A couple of them did.
Hot one to 3rd. Pagliarulo down to Randolph. See you later. 2 out in the 9th inning. This week's NBC Light Beer from Miller Player of the Game is Ron Hassey. Light Beer from Miller is happy to present a check for $1,000 in the name of Ron Hassey to help fight multiple sclerosis. He had a big day. He had a walk, a single, a 3-run home run. He scored twice, drove in 4. Strike. So with 2 out in the 9th inning, here's Brian Downing. Grounded to third, struck out, flied to right, and singled.
He's got his glasses on this time at bat.
That's right. He had them off earlier. He might have had the contacts, and when the wind came up, it dries out the fluid and irritates the eyes, so he's gone back to the glasses. 1-2. Ground ball off the glove of Pagliarulo. Meacham, all he can do is back it up. It'll be a base hit.
Don't know why he didn't come up with it cleanly. It looked like it was just a big hop.
Yeah. Well, and it hit right in the middle of the glove, not on the heel.
They gave him a base hit.
They always say that about some bad defensive player, not a good one like Pagliarulo, but hit him in a weak spot, right in the glove. Rupert Jones flied to left, single to right, hit a 2-run home run and grounded out. Two and 0. Ed Whitson, Dave Righetti, and Neil Allen. Whitson did not go the required 5 innings. He didn't make it. So Righetti will pick up the victory. 2-1. And for Gene Mauch, he had Romanek, 8 days rest. He'll take the loss. 2-1 to count to Jones. Two and 2. Down in the Yankee bullpen, just in case, Brian Fisher begins to loosen up. Billy Martin maybe a pitch away from his 69th win as a Yankee manager.
Wants to get that curveball in it for a strike. He did it the last time. You could just see him almost choke it.
Yeah, he really does I don't know if it can tip it off if you're the hitter or not, but up here you see it.
Well, he's overthrown it, so he's choking it.
Fastball fouled away. If the Yankees win this game, they're leading 10-4 with 2 out in the 9th inning, so that's pretty conservative. They will have won 75 games, 69 of them under Billy. Fastball, and that's going to be hit foul. You mess around with a curveball now?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I throw nothing but strikes.
Me too. I don't know why especially he's having trouble with it.
I wouldn't fool with it. I don't want to finesse him. Just want to get it over with. Get the big hammer out and nail that coffin shut.
3-2. And he threw the curveball. Oh, you and I would have both been caught looking.
Well, so was Rupert.
Oh, what a way to finish. A base hit and a man left. 3 Ks for Neil Allen. 10 runs, 12 hits for the Yankees, 4 runs, 7 hits for the Angels. The winning pitcher, Dave Righetti, and the loser, Ron Romanek. 26,991 on hand. For Joe Garagiola, this is Vin Scully. A reminder after this message, we'll have an update on Hurricane Elena from